Hello, hi, good evening. Hi, this is Christine Crow here, and I hope everyone is doing well. And today I just want to talk about, well, President Trump, DEI, and also the truth that no one really tells you. You're hearing the news about DEI and that they're scrapping this, they're scrapping that, they're eradicating this, and they're actually making it so that private companies can't even can't even employ who they want to employ. And I think that's really telling us where America is right now. And I think it's really sad that we've come to this situation where the banks are actually controlling us as well about what we can do and where we can spend our money, and also in terms of all the tariffs that are being put on all the other countries. And for what? For what reason? And I just think it's quite shocking. I can't believe that I'm actually seeing and witnessing and being a part of this. And I just feel it is wrong. And I'm going to say, I feel it's wrong what's happening. And whether you agree with this or not is your choice and it's your opinion. But I'm going to give you a few reasons why I believe that it's not the truth that we're being told. There's something happening. Okay? So and I'm referring to America, and also I'm not sure regarding what's going on with the UK at the moment, but I think they're also following suit. Trump is saying to private organizations, if any private organization decides to employ someone under the DEIA policy, that's diversity, equity, inclusion, accessibility, that they could be fined and criminalized. What is going on? There's something wrong here. It's as if they don't want you to take any money out of the country. They're trying to control things. And I'm just absolutely shocked. And to talk about the airline crash. Now, President Trump should have been sympathetic and be talking about the sympathy that he feels for the family that have lost their loved ones. But he brought DEI into it, and he brought other things into it, accessibility. It brought in so many things that didn't need to be brought in at that difficult time. Now that should tell you that that is something that's wrong there, because at the end of the day, people lost their lives, and that should have been the main concern, not what he thinks, what his opinion is. And he's got a very strong opinion. Now, with regards to the DEI, and I want to talk about this because, we're kind of like brushing around things, and in America it's really strong, and I can totally understand where they're coming from, because a tragic plane crash in Washington D.C. and how the president Donald Trump responded to it was bias about DEI, diversity, equity, and inclusion, and accessibility as well. He involved all four elements of who, we're society, we're a community. But before I go into this, have you also heard those comments? What did you think about them? You know, it was quite to me, it was quite, and this is my opinion and a few other people's opinion as well. It was quite controversial statement that Trump blamed the crash on DEI. And when questioned about it, his response was, because I have sense. Is that an answer? No, it's not. He then added something even more bizarre. He talked about DEI, and he blamed also, he mentioned dwarfism in connection to the crash. So I'm going to be breaking down to you about DEI and accessibility so that we can really try and understand this a bit more. Because why is this being segregated, and how it's actually benefiting the businesses and the community's safety? And it's not there to cause disasters. It never was brought in for that purpose. And the reason why I feel so strongly about it, because I was one of those persons that was given a job from a community that I lived in, Bronx, New York, for example, in the projects, and my grades were good. I had good grades. So I was given a chance to apply for a position when I finished high school, for example, and I had my high school qualification. So I got a job in a law firm as a paralegal secretary, and I got it on merit because of how fast I could type, because of the way I spoke, the way I answered the phone. I beat all of the other interviewees. Okay? It wasn't, if I didn't have that opportunity, that DEI opportunity, diversity, equity, and inclusion, because it's all about coming from disadvantaged communities as well. And I'm not saying my parents were broke. They worked really hard. Really hard. My mum was a nurse, my father was an engineer, but my father wasn't able to get a job as what he would have liked, like how he was in the UK, because he was a foreman in the UK, in Leicester. He worked for a factory, Bush factory, in Leicester in the UK, for example, and he wasn't able to get a job like he had back then because of his age. So that again was against him, was his age, even though he was still, over 50, for example. But I was able to get a job with an elite law firm on Broadway because I came from a disadvantaged community, Bronx, New York, living in the projects, for example. So this is why I feel so passionate about this. And to hear the comments that Trump said was very offensive. So, like I said, he talked about the DE, and why would he bring that up? That just kind of shocked me that he would come out with that. So, let's look at the aviation experts. They're the ones that deal with the investigating and mechanical failures, human errors, external factors, not DEI. They never had done. So why were they brought in to this? And the president, he didn't even have any of the evidence to come out with that in the first place. So there was no evidence linking to DEI, to the crash. But Trump still blamed it. So DEI is not lowering standards in aviation either, or any other sector. It ensures fair opportunities whilst maintaining high qualifications. And blaming DEI, as far as I'm concerned, is a common political tactic, one that shifts blames from real issues, which we're being blindsided here, like the infrastructures, the problems, the corporate mismanagement, or regulatory failures. Listen, let me tell you something. When I had my agency, right, I've had an agency, I've been in healthcare for over 35 years. I've had my own agencies for 20 years. And I don't talk, I talk about this. I had very large contracts with the government, for example, and they cut my rates down by half due to the recession. I've been through 3 recessions, and it affects businesses. It affects businesses. It really does. So blaming DEI, like I said, it is a political tactic that's being happened, and there's a regulatory failure happening here. And I believe this is happening in America as well as the UK. I'm going to say it. I believe it is, because I'm seeing all too often. Why are the NHS, you go to the hospital, why is the elderly there waiting in corridors? That's why people are resigning. That's why people are leaving the UK. That's why people are leaving America as well. And DEI, diversity, equity, and inclusion. Diversity is bringing in people from different background, races, genders, abilities, and experiences. Equity is ensuring fairness so that everyone has the tool and opportunities that they need to succeed. Inclusion, making sure workplace and communities welcome everyone, allowing everyone to contribute fully. So, society and business, safer workplaces, and I'll explain something to you. And the reason why I feel so passionate about this is because it gave me a chance to be where I am today. And yeah, I've had some failures. I think everybody, whoever has not had something go wrong in their lives, then that's really good. I'm happy for you. But this is life. Sometimes it happens. And it's unfortunate that we get blamed when a government thing has happened that's caused the failure in the first place. And secondly, I want to mention this DEI because me and my twin brother, who's now passed away, we both were given an amazing opportunity. When he was 18, when he finished high school, he was able to get work for the Michigan government in the States, for example, and he worked there from when he was 18 years old. He got his architectural qualification in the end before he finished work, but he was able to retire at 55 years old. But he got that job because of DEI, for example. And he was qualified. He stayed within that workplace, did 6 days a week from the age of 18 to 55, that he was able to retire and be paid a good pension. It's unfortunate that once he retired, that he got cancer, for example, and it was terminal and he passed away. And it breaks my heart to hear Trump speaking in this way, because we do work hard. We work hard. We get what we do what we need to do. There's no laziness here. We have worked hard, and that's why I'm so passionate about DEI and accessibility. I'm so passionate about it because I know that that did not come easy. When he got that job, it was not easy. He had to go through some hoops, just the same with me. I had to go through some hoops. I had to take tests. I had to take a typing test. I had to take a grammar and English test before I got the job with the law firm. So we didn't get it because of our skin color, race, for example. It was to do with our ability. And my twin brother, how many black men today get to retire at 55 years old with a good pension? There's not many in the States, I'm referring to, and even in the UK. So that's why I'm so passionate about this, because I think it's so wrong to just wipe out years of building community. And it's as if the communities are being ripped apart and separated again. All of this hard work that Martin Luther King did, that all of the leaders that got us here to where we are today, is being undone. And for what? Because of greed, billionaires' greeds. So this is why I'm having this discussion today. And I'd love to know your comments, whether you agree or not agree that this is a fair society, free speech, as they say. So DEI in society and business is about more perspectives to lead a better decision making and safety protocols. Everyone has different opinions, and it's about getting a rounded view, not just one person's view. And to make out that some people are more intelligent than others due to race, or where they come from, or their gender, or what their preference is, or what their accessibility is, or size, is an insult. So with DEI and A programs, it removed those unfair barriers that have historically kept some groups out of certain jobs. And I'm sure that you know what I'm referring to when I say this. For example, Airlines and DEI. Pilots, air traffic controllers, aviation engineers must all have passed rigorous testing. And this does not reduce training or qualification because of the race of who you are, or DEI, for example. Airlines hire diverse staff because of improved safety and communication, especially in the global aviation space. So why does community matter? Everyone is entitled to community. DEI is not about division. It is about opportunities that you can have. Trump's comments, it created and has created division. You can see it. It's happening in America. It's happening in the UK. Even the businesses are now being held to say they can't hire certain people. But our jobs is to build community that support fairness, safety, and economic growth. Because that is the healing part. It grows us as human beings. So this is why I wanted to talk about DEI, for example, to educate on the real impact that it has and can do. And I'm going to push back against this misinformation because it is incorrect. It is an insult to our ancestors. It's an insult to Martin Luther King and many others, many other cultures. I'm just saying Martin Luther King because that's who has been part of my role model as a child. I didn't get to hear properly about Martin Luther King till I went to America. In the UK, they kind of kept it quiet. The most we heard about was Roots, and that was it, you know. So the real evidence is that I just believe that there's a political blame game being played here. I mean, look at it. We've got babies, boss babies ruling America at the moment, looking at people's finances. So Donald Trump has mentioned that even the private sector employers will be fined, criminalized, if they find out that you've hired someone on that basis, for example. But of course you're going to make sure that things are fair and that the person is able to do the job effectively. I just worry that he's going to take it one step further, and next it will be the employers that get criminalized. I don't know if anyone here has been impacted by DEI in the workplace, for example, or the community, because I want to hear some real stories here. Like I said, I would not have quantum leaped from Bronx, New York project to Cyprus if I wasn't given that chance at that law firm. I wouldn't have seen that world. It opened up my world because I was hanging around lawyers and I could see, and I was going to law courts, I was handing in depositions, I was going to United Nations. It opened up my world that I never would have had opened or seen for my own eyes and experience. I got to experience luxury when I was working for the law firm. And when I go to New York, I'm definitely going to be knocking on their door to say thank you, because they're still going today. I want to say thank you because they have helped me. We all have a journey and we experience different things at different times in our lives. And for me, DEI, some of you don't agree with it, but I do agree with it. And I believe that the impact that it had on me and my twin brother, who worked for the Michigan government from the age of 18 years old to 55, that is a long time. Same with my other brother, Michael, who passed away. He was in the army for years. You know, he was in, IRA that when all of that was going on. You know, he was faced with a lot of things. But he was able to do the job effectively. So to me, it is basically saying that, yeah, I agree that people should be hired on that they're capable of doing the job. But I just feel that this isn't about capability of doing the job. It's about the color, or it's about your preference, or it's about your height, or it's about your your disability. What, they're not going to hire you because you suffer from arthritis? Or maybe they're not going to hire you because of your age, or they're not going to hire you because you've got children. Is that how it's going to be now? What do you think? I'd love to hear your comments in the chat, because for me, this is really, as I'm listening and I'm hearing things more, I'm starting to see a shift of what's happening here. And I just feel that we are going back in time to not a nice place. I mean, thankfully, I live here in Cyprus, and I'm not experiencing this in Cyprus, but I'm seeing what's happening in the UK. I'm seeing what's happening in America. I have family in America. I've got family in the UK, and I'm seeing what's happening there, and I'm seeing how things are being controlled. I'm seeing how banks are controlling people. But yet, where did the banks get their money from? And that's what we need to remember. We've got to think about all of the things that have the struggles and the fights to get to where we are, to be able to get an education, to be able to do, women have jobs, for example. People with disabilities have jobs. People with height restrictions, for example, get a job. People with preference have a job. We've come far, and now this thing, it seems like we're going back again. We're going back in time, but yet we're talking about the future. And I wonder what is going to be the next thing. We're seeing people, tariffs being put onto countries around the world. What do you think that's going to do for inflation? It's not helping inflation, it's going to make it worse. What do you think we're going to be facing with all of these tariffs and arguing and things like that? It's just wrong. Absolutely wrong. And I'm here to talk about this because I don't agree with it. I don't agree with how things are being just ripped apart. Look at the education board in America. What? They're just ripping signs off as if to say, the senators don't matter, as if the judges don't matter. It's like we've got boss babies running America, and that's scary. If anyone's not watched the movie Boss Baby, you need to, because we've got this going on in America. I don't know. I really don't know. I'm just completely flabbergasted and confused, because I thought we were going somewhere, and I just feel we've taken 5 steps forward and then 20 steps back. And yes, we do have to work hard. I totally understand that, and I'm not saying that I don't agree with working hard and proving that you are the best person for the job, for example. But I don't agree with the other stuff. And this is the reason why I'm so against things being scrapped that should not have been scrapped. Things that I remember in the States that helped. Because if you sometimes you got to help people in order for them to get forward. Otherwise, you're keeping people back. So it's a form of oppression. And I don't like that. So that's just my thoughts. And that's just my discussion. But I'd love to hear what you think. And, because for now, to say that the DEI must be scrapped in private organizations, whereas before private organizations could do whatever they want. So now they're telling you that you can't hire people. Is that going to happen in the UK? Because, it may happen in the UK. They may turn around and say, right, no more of this, that and the other. What's going to happen next is shocking. So I hope that you could get the gist of this video today, and I just want people to be aware of what DEIA can do for a community, because everybody is equal, everybody, and a community comes together. I've been talking a lot about building a community, and we've lost that. We seem to have lost building the community, how it used to be, and there seems to be people trying to be tearing each other apart rather than working as one and working together for a common goal. For you to succeed is key. But if you just sit back and don't do anything about it, then you're not going to get very far. So what I want to say to you is just keep pushing forward with what you're doing, and don't let this negativity stop you in your growth for your life and for the company that you're working for. All right, so I hope that you've enjoyed this discussion, because I was kind of going deep today because of the hard work that I've seen it's as if it's being undone. The hard work, the blood, sweat, tears. People have died through this, making these corrections, and it's as if they're being undone, as if to say it doesn't matter or didn't matter, when it did, and it does matter. So just be mindful, whether you're in America or whether you're in the UK, or where you are in the world. Just be mindful of these things. At the end of the day, it's what you believe in as well, and I understand that. But I also know that it does help people, and it helps the community, and it helps us to grow and develop and get stronger and stronger. So thank you so much for being here today, and I'm going to be shooting a video after this live tonight, so stay tuned for the next video coming out today, which should be probably about an hour from now. And I'm going to be going live tomorrow at 7 p.m. and I'm going to be shooting a video. Again, I'm going to be uploading a video as well as going live. But I just want everyone to really think about, the processes that is going on. There's a lot happening at the moment. It's like it's a whirlwind. It's like there's so many distractions that, Donald Trump has just created this whirlwind, and I just I'm in shock with what is allowed to do, and I know the judges are doing things, and it must be a nightmare for them to keep stopping and starting, starting. You know, it's not good for the country. But I don't really like to get political, but I think I just needed to do this because it was something that was close to my heart. So thank you so much, everyone, for listening today, and keep positive. Don't let anything push you down, because this sometimes it's here to push you down, but you just keep rising. Keep rising, everyone. All right, so take care, everyone. Have a wonderful evening. God bless you. Take care. Goodbye.